that the live stream is, and we are. I think we're on. Are we on,
Are
people,
we?
guys? Let
Hello.
Sabaho, everybody. Sabaho. Good morning, Issa, and thank
Magandang
you, thank you, thank you very much for coming on with us. Very, very early for you, and I do apologize. The whole timing thing, hanging out with us, it's kind of like a late night, early morning kind of thing, So glad to have you on the show. How are you doing?
First of all, thanks for having me. I always enjoy these talks. I'm relatively good, all things considered. It's a crazy time in terms
It
of the
is.
pandemic and just current
Yep.
events in general. But I mean, it's good. We're hanging on, still doing the whole tech thing. Yeah.
We're trying to, yeah, we're trying to adapt to the 2020 has been a very, very interesting way of saying we deal, handling tech, because we started off with, I think you and Josh were doing the challenge back at CES. I remember you guys were running around Vegas. I barely saw you guys, and it was like, and then February comes around, March, boom, we're all in our homes, and we're
Yeah.
trying to do the new norm.
Yeah, and it's so weird having everything cut off so abruptly because I mean, as tech people, we're so used to seeing each other in January, right? And then
Exactly.
Feb comes around and it's MWC, and we were all set to go to MWC, and so like that not happen, and now it's what, July? I'm
It's
just
middle of
like,
the year. Yeah, no, we crossed half of the 2020 mark, and it sounds like, at least for the foreseeable future,
hmm,
it still is going to be, covering stuff from home kind of thing, which we will talk a little bit more. I want to get your opinion on how that's going on. Issa, for our viewers, if they're not familiar with your work, obviously I am, but I would love to, if you can give us a little bit of a introduction to the Issa,
uh-huh.
the different Issas that exist online, because there's a few things that you do, right?
So hi guys, nice meeting you. I am Isa. I obviously like pink. I used to work for a tech publication, but then I decided to strike out on my own, seeing the need for a more casual conversation on tech for people who are not as tech savvy, who aren't the traditional tech audiences. So,
Mhm.
I mean, the thing is always that, I mean, everyone has phones now. So the tech
Exactly.
as we know it has changed. But then, and there's nothing wrong with it. There's so much content out there for the traditional techies, but not so much for people who are more on the casual side of things, the more lifestyle side of things. And so that's the type of content that I aim to make on my channel. You can find me on Issa Does Tech. You can just search that, and you'll find me. It's all pink, like it's very, you won't miss it. So yeah, I do that. I actually do a lot of casual. So honestly, I have the other channel. I have an Issa Does channel. It's filled with
That's why I was saying the different versions of Issa.
yeah. So being a content creator is pretty weird for me because I do like my personality pivots. And so I remember when I was trying to come up with a channel, I'm like, I cannot figure out which one topic I wanted to stick to. But
Yep.
actually I have a separate channel that's Issa Does. I pretty much put everything else on there. I have political commentary, I have satire videos, I have travel videos. So yeah, it's just living my life and creating things and trying to share things that I do and I love. So there's that.
And if there's one thing I would always appreciate, is that it is a different point of view reference. It's a personal reference to style, functionality, technical spec, but also kind of a lifestyle. And one of the reasons why I mentioned the other sides of Issa is you like running, and I know that you do like some exercise things as well. And I'm a runner. I love running, so anything that helps me either track, augment the experience, challenge myself, push myself, kind of like the Mi Band 5, like the stuff that we will be talking about in a little bit.
Um,
So
we have two bands on my wrist.
I was gonna geek out. I took out the second one. So Lani, one of the commenters will attest to this. In the last video that I did with the Me TV stick, I was wearing both the Mi Band 4 and the Mi Band 5 together. So I was like geeking out. So I took it out this time. I'm like, people are noticing. I'm gonna look weird.
It's hard because so lately I've been enjoying creating wearables videos. I mean, I've
Yes.
always liked them, but for some reason this week I got like 3. So I mean, there are only 2 wrists, and as much as possible when I would do the reviews, I want like data on them, right? I don't want it to be like blank wearable, so I tend to just like double it on my wrist. But yeah, pivoting back to the type of content I do, I've always found wearables to be the easiest sell because they have to look good. They're on you. They're literally part of your outfit, right? So that's why it's also, yeah.
It is perfectly no, exactly, and even on the I would say the guy side of the house, it works the exact same way. It has to appeal, it has to look good. So I wear the TicWatch Pro, and to me this kind of like blends the close enough that it looks kind of like a regular watch, but it has the functionality of a smartwatch, the sport band, the mil spec rating. But there are certain experiences that you don't want to take something that bulky with you. You want to go swimming. You're just doing some heavy, running, do like long distance running, and you want to minimize the weight on you so you can get the longest distance. I feel like something like the Mi Band 5 works really nice. It's small, it's compact, and I want to maybe a good way would be for us to kind of segue into your experience. So you just dropped a video,
yes,
for the Mi Band 5. How so how long have you been using Mi Bands? This is the first Mi Band? Have you used it before?
Oh, okay. So I have done like Fitbit reviews. I've done Huawei band reviews.
Yep.
I tried the Honor band. I've done like smartwatches. So on a normal day, I'm usually a smartwatch person, mostly because I like how the watches look. So I'm more of like an aesthetic thing. And I have this conversation with Joshua a lot because he's been on the Mi Band. He's been on the 3, on the 4. And when the 5 came out, he wanted it. And so every time I made these videos, so many people point out that I should try the Mi Band. So I've always been curious. For some reason, it's never really materialized up until now. So I tried it for the first time. And like, from this experience, one, I can say that I don't think there's any other band with the level of customization that this thing has. Like from the menus and not just the sports modes, you can change them around. And the watch faces, like you can change, how in smartwatches, you can change like the little widgets on the watch face. You can do that on this band. And I'm just like, I'm mind blown. But
absolutely.
The one thing that I love about this band, and this is something that I did not expect at all, is I have a couple of Mi Home devices. So that lamp right there is a G light, I think, and I have another.
We'll do this way. Yeah.
On the other side of this.
On the other side. On
the other side, there's a bedside lamp. Well, I use it as a night light, and for some reason, I was able to connect the Mi Band to the light.
Actually, I think you're talking about this one. This is not from your room. Just for everybody's point of reference, I did not just say. She like pointed from that direction, and I brought the lamp. I'm like, this lamp, right? Yes, you have it on that side of your bed, right? Yeah, this one. No,
yes,
no, I got the same one. Yeah. I can't find it on Amazon in the US. So when I got it, I was like, okay, it's very unique, and I love the colors. But you're right, it is extremely very, very. It came in a package, I think. Yes, did you get the same package, I'm assuming?
I think I did, but I think they sort of like changed around the stuff inside. Because I
got a little bit.
Yeah. But more or less that and the power tool, which I love. I have nothing to screw, but it's to me
it's a very for me it's so it's great if you're starting to build computers and you're putting things together, the power tools, because of the lighting on it, and especially with the screw, and the battery life is really nice. So I love that. And so they changed it a little bit. You're right. So I saw a few people getting the same care packages. I think they called it the work from home or some kind of a summer package. For me, Xiaomi did something very interesting, and they know I have a 10-year-old son. So this was obviously something. And if you guys watch my shows or my videos, Omar jumps in, and and he's great, obviously, as a model. So for me, they included a robot, a small the Xiaomi robot. So that was a very unique thing. I think a lot of people got the plug So that was a good experience. I told them, I
I
said, thank
wanted
you
a
very much.
robot. That robot was so cool. That I
It
was like,
is.
I mean, I love the lamp, but the robot was a whole different level there.
Yeah, no. It was fun putting it together. It was nice to be able to spend that much time with him because it's something he likes to do. He likes to put Legos together, but this one was very advanced, and it also included an app, motor, and setting it up and everything. So it took us a few days, but he loves it. He loves it, and
I
you
saw
can
your
also
post.
code.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I was very surprised, and we're going to disassemble the robot and then rebuild it into a dinosaur. So there's different ways to rebuild it, and they included in the box as the robot, but you could scan the QR code, download the map or the instructions to build it as a Tyrannosaurus, and we're going to go with that. So that was fun.
Oh my gosh! Now I want that thing. I mean,
I
so I just got a smart electric fan from Xiaomi. I literally
oh,
bought one.
yes,
I don't know, man. I'm turning into like part of this work from home thing is making me buy stuff for the home. So now I am hell bent on creating my smart home. I'm like, if
so.
I'm here,
Mhm.
might as well be smart.
No, absolutely. But that was one of their things they talked about at the launch event, right, on Tuesday. They were trying to talk about the whole the Xiaomi ecosystem, where your fan can talk to your to
Yeah.
your light bulb, or so certain things like that. So I can imagine that would be a great subject of videos you could do, automating when you walk into your bedroom, and your certain profile, like morning or maybe video. You can set one up for how do you shoot your videos.
Yeah,
I
no,
like
for
it.
real. And going back to, I forgot my initial point. I'm sorry, people. I
No, no.
get carried away when I get excited. But so what this band was able to do was that it connected to the night light, and so since it's a sleep tracker, it knows when I fall asleep. After
Mhm.
I fall asleep, it turns the light off. Like that blew my mind. I was like, that's the coolest tiny detail.
It
And
is.
aside from that, I've always had this me scale that I never really did anything with. Just it was a scale, but then it connects now to the Me Fit app, and so all the stats are in one place, and like it now adds that to the whole fitness equation.
So so you could just literally go in, do it like your daily or your weekly weigh in, and then that automatically updates into the app. You don't even have to do anything. And then when you're looking at your stats, you can see your progress. So that I like that. I like that. And it's well thought out. But the biggest part that I really appreciate about it, at least and I say this with the US side of point of reference, because we tend to see tech prices go up every year, or with every iteration. Mi bands are generally well balanced price wise. I mean, I think the Mi Band 4, I picked it up for about $20, $25 maybe when I was in Shenzhen. In the
Mhm.
Mi Band 5, I think was it $30 or $40? I think that's what they said, but it was at early birds also. So really good pricing. Is it
Mhm.
is it in that same price point in the Philippines as
Oh,
far as
yeah, I would think so. It's one of the cheapest. So it's, I mean,
mhm.
one of the cheapest. So you can't really argue with that, right? That
Yeah,
alone, that base selling point is that price tag. That's so good. And then you
it's
have all these other things that makes
mhm,
it an actual good wearable. So
exactly. And then
I love that.
do you find the charging for me, the charging was also the biggest improvement. They took away having to take the actual band out, or the little the smart tracker out of the band to charge it in a casing. So that was one thing that they changed that I felt was so needed, because I hated having to take it out, put it back in, and also I don't want to stress the band. So for
Yeah.
me, I'm still working on my video, because as you kind of stated at the beginning, you don't want to review something that you don't have your personal stats into it. So I
Yeah.
put in a couple of runs. I'll do another one probably Monday, Tuesday next week, and just to kind of get some numbers and see how this, the sleep tracking and all of those things. And then hopefully sometime next week we'll put out a video on that one. Uh, before we go too far, I do want to say good morning to everybody in the comments. We have a whole bunch of people hanging out with us. Andrew Wallace, Fat Produce, is in the comments. Rhonda's in the comments. I saw that as well. Let me see. Yeah, see, Rhonda's a buddy of mine. Went to an event with her last year, and she was joining me also on the Amazon Livestream I did a couple of days ago.
Cool.
Um, so okay, so here a lot of people are actually talking about the robot. uh, I mean, if you guys, do you guys want to see the actual robot? It's built already, obviously. But if you guys want to see it, let me know, and I can definitely walk over and get the robot. And then let me see here real quick. Oh yeah, so Raul is saying good night. Yeah, exactly. It's very early for Issa, and I
1:30 a.m., but it's a weekend, so this is our type of party. New
it
normal,
is.
guys.
Exactly. Yeah. So we'll keep the party going. Um, so we have some of our viewers from Saudi Arabia, and we have a few people also from all around. Now, as you guys probably already heard from from the title, at least, you saw it from the thumbnail. I actually have one more headphones. So apparently, during the live stream on Tuesday, which was a very it was the first time I've actually had that type of relationship with Xiaomi. I've worked with Xiaomi for a very brief time. Historically, I haven't really, I guess I would say, new to working with them. And they reached out and they're like, hey, we have a launch event on Tuesday. Would you like to do a comment? We did that. And they sponsored a whole bunch of giveaways. But, and I'm going to confess to this, I made a mistake. I was supposed to give away 15 items. And in the excitement of the video and doing a whole bunch of stuff, I gave out 14. And I only discovered it as I was going through and trying to get people's names. So I felt like, well, we have Issa with us, Xiaomi fan. Obviously, as you see, she's working on building her I would say, her Mi Home.
I knew.
We will be giving out this pair one more, and I did confirm it with Xiaomi as well. So they're very comfortable, and it is going to be international. So if you can keep it with us here, definitely in a little bit we'll talk. And they sound great. They're very small, long battery life, and definitely a nice upgrade. So they're the Mi True Wireless Earphones 2 Basic, just launched on Tuesday. So with that being on the Mi Band 5, I think Josh also mentioned that he's very excited to some open source stuff. So he said he was going to cover that in some of his videos. So definitely check it out on Josh's side. He will be putting out some more videos. But what else are you if there's a little bit of sneak peek into maybe some of the stuff that you're working on right now, what is it that other obviously than Xiaomi stuff? Is there something that people can look forward to? And of course, guys, all of Issa's information for Issa Does Tech, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter. She's very active on Instagram as well as on Twitter, as well as on YouTube, of course. But to connect directly with Issa, please make sure to check the description below. If you're
Ooh, did I what? Oops, what happened? Hi guys. Are we still here? Yes? No? Oh, I think I'm still on. Okay, well, hi. So I think TK froze for a hot second there, but yeah, since we're in the process of talking about what stuff I'm doing while TK isn't here, I have, well, obviously the reason why I have 2 wearables on my wrist is because I'm also working on my Fitbit Charge 3 review. And then I have like the Redmi 9A actually, which is one of their more budget devices. So I'm doing that. I saw someone ask about if I'm still using the Velvet. No, I have actually switched to the Mi 10 5G because I wanted to use it with the Mi Band when I tested that out. I have also a bunch of new stuff coming, I think, next week. I can't really tell you guys yet what it is, but it's pretty exciting stuff. At least for me, I got really excited about it. Not just phones, you guys. There are a lot of things. How do you read that? ER1980 says that I'm still here. So hi. I am manning TK's live stream now. So Wong is asking about the OnePlus Nord. I still do not have the OnePlus Nord. I'm actually really curious about that. Hopefully I can get my hands on it soon, because it's harder because I'm in Manila, so we technically do not have official one. Like we have a reseller, but we don't have official OnePlus. Oh, Sam! Hi, Sam. Say hi to Sam. She's a friend of mine. She's also watching. Rhonda says, hopefully TK will return with a robot. Yes, hopefully TK returns with a robot. Chrison, Julian Cuerdo says, Issa tulog na, madaling araw na, which is basically him saying I should sleep because it's like 1:30 a.m. But no, guys, it's a party. It's a weekend. Who else? Raza Tapa is asking where I'm from. I am from Manila. I'm based in Manila, so this is a long distance chat. And TK is, well, where TK is. I don't know what he said. Like, I don't want to give you guys his actual address. I don't know his actual address, but you get it. Yeah. What else? I'm now. Oh, Michael Malencia is saying Mi 10 5G is awesome. Hopefully, Issa shows a review. And I actually have what is it? An unboxing of this. I'm thinking if I should do a vlog camera test. If you've seen my videos, I do these vlog camera testings just so you can experience the whole camera thing with me. I haven't yet, but honestly, this phone's camera is pretty good. I am very impressed because so the Mi 10 5G versus the Mi 10 Pro, is it Pro or Plus? But yeah, so there are two versions, right? But this, even if it's the cheaper Mi 10 version, it still has the 108 megapixel main camera, so it's legit. Rita, wait. Okay, let's. Razu is asking how the pandemic is going. Well, it's still going. We are all staying indoors unless absolutely necessary, which means in the last 3 to 5, is it how many months has it been? In the last 3 or 4 months, I've gone out thrice. Lani Tut says, good morning, good morning. Rahul Das is asking, where is that? Is that Patrick? And then Anirud Dodya says, TK will put his Wi-Fi router under the sun. Probably right now, that's what he's doing. So hi guys, if you're watching TK stream, hi, I'm Issa. We were having a lovely conversation, but I think TK got cut. Let me actually message him. So, okay. So TK says he's coming back. The power went out, so I'm manning the fort right now. What should we talk about while TK isn't here? I'm kidding. So George Hayes says he wishes the Nord was coming to the US, which I find funny because like I would have loved the Nord. Looking at the US market, it seems like it would have been a good addition considering that you guys have like a hole in your mid-range category versus us here in Asia. We have like so many phones launching at any given point. Like we have, like, I think last month there were 6 phones between 2 brands that launched in the mid-range category. That means like sub $300 phones that are very, very powerful. Abdulaziz Gamdi. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not very good at reading names, but please just correct me if I mispronounce your name. But he is asking, how's your experience with the Redmi 9A? I haven't unboxed it, so we'll figure that out soon. Manish Ponye saying hi. David Burns is saying, I hope TK is okay. I think he's coming back. There, I can hear him. Yay!
Yeah. No, if there is ever a chance of technical difficulties, that's exactly what happened. Let me just double check. I think it's pulling the video from somewhere else here. Yeah, wrong video. Black magic. Hey, we're back.
I'm just saying hi to the people who are watching.
Yeah, no, thank you, thank you very much. We were having some problems. No, go ahead. Yeah.
Sam from the chat, like, so we have a Discord chat and we do these weekly like drinking online sessions or whatever, and they always make fun of me because it's my internet that always goes down. So she's saying she's actually impressed that right now it's me who's staying on. This is the first time my internet is cooperating. My God.
It's a very challenging. So I mentioned it to Issa before we started that the power for me this morning was entirely out up till about 10 minutes before the show started. I was actually anticipating doing this entire live stream outside on my laptop and just kicking it and using headphones. I mean, we can technically do it on our phones, but what happened is the power came back, and I was like, okay, this is meant to be. It's going to happen the way it is. I set up everything, and we moved on, and then of course, power goes out. So thank you for, and this is one thing, by the way, I like about StreamYard that's different than YouTube. Had we been streaming straight on YouTube, this entire live stream would have dropped. But because we have two parties in here and you're in there, and you stayed in, the live stream doesn't cut off and it still feeds into YouTube. Obviously, my feed drops, but this, yeah, thank you very much for holding the fort.
We're away.
Oh my God! Hopefully nothing too bad about me, guys. Don't air out my laundry.
Of course not.
Oh my.
But it's funny you say that because Joshua has been saying that his internet has been going down as well. Like lately, it's been bad, and
the infrastructure is not meant for it. Yeah. It hasn't. That's been the biggest challenge for me here, at least over the last few months, and I'm sure the guys and the ladies in the comments will attest how many times we've had the what happens essentially is like a little circle comes up here and is spinning. So it's no, definitely I wish I could actually run everything off from a tab. Actually, we can now. I take that back. But speaking of which, so thank you very much, and I am actually now running on. Just in case, just on the weird situation that it doesn't work, I switched over to a hotspot, so I'm not connected to my home internet, and my entire system here is connected to a portable power system. So even if the power drops, I won't be affected. The lights behind me will go out. So if that goes away, then you'll know power went out, but I'm still going to be part of this. So, oh man, I was panicking on that one. Sorry?
No, it's cool you have a backup, I said.
It was something that I reviewed. It was a Kickstarter. I think something called like an all power. Some people keep asking about it, and it has like 6 AC power outlets out of it, or 5 or 6 power outlets. And it actually is strong enough to power a refrigerator. So let's put it, and I usually keep it always, what's it called? I always keep it charged in case something happens. So in the video, I demoed it by using a chainsaw, like an electric chainsaw. I ran that off of it just to like, look what I can do with a power bank. So it was good.
I'm watching that after this.
Yeah. It's a very, that was one of the reasons why we always love it here. Cause California, we're known for earthquakes. We're known for power outages every once in a while, like a long time. But today, like of all days, I woke up and power was out and I'm like, okay, I have a thing with Issa. Like, thank God I set up everything last night. And of course things, but luckily it's running everything. It's running 2 TVs, the laptop, the lights, the cameras, the overhead camera, everything that's used to stream without plugging this guy in is running in there, which by the way,
cool. You're literally powering your whole studio.
Yeah. And it will run me for a few hours as well. I mean, because even with everything, like I said, it has 6, I think was it 5 or 6 power outlets. And it will last for a long time. Like I said, originally when they sent it to me, they're like, you can power your refrigerator with it. And I'm like, seriously? It's like, yeah, plug this refrigerator and you can run it for 6 hours. And I'm like, okay. And sure enough, I was actually able to turn on my, and it's a big refrigerator. But I do want to say thank you very much to Alcatel for sending us out the Alcatel. This is the LinkZone 2. Sorry, I did want to say this. So the last few streams we've been running on them. Today I decided not to in the beginning, but we're back. We're back, guys. So with that being said, when we left off, I think you were telling us about some of the stuff that you're working on. I hope you were able to continue on that.
Yeah, we good.
Okay, well, since we're good on that, we're going to go ahead and move on to the next subject. I dropped a video for Xiaomi on my side for the Mi TV stick. So there was a few things that they launched at the event. I know Josh is super excited and would love to be able to get his hands on either the gaming monitor or the Scooter Pro 2. I think that's the updated version, which unfortunately I did not get access to. I told him I wish. I said if I told him I would love. So the original Xiaomi scooter has been a very popular item in the States, mostly because of the price point, the features, the durability, but it's just, it looks good and it works good. You know what I mean? It does what it's supposed to do, and it does actually fit into that lifestyle. So, but some of the stuff they were talking about, like you said, during the launch event, they were talking about like in-home IoT and so on. What were some of the things that you liked about the launch event? Was there anything that kind of stood out to you, obviously, other than the Mi Band, that you would have loved to check out?
Honestly, I every single Xiaomi launch, and I see a split second of whatever scooter they have, I want it. I remember watching the Mi Mix 2 launch, and there was a laptop, I think. There was something that they were trying to prove the durability of, and they decided to bring out a scooter and run over it. And I'm like, now I want the scooter, and that's what I'm talking about. Like, that scooter is the reason why I have a Mi air purifier, which sure, it works to my advantage now. I need it, but I actually joined a contest because the price was the scooter. I ended up like winning second place and got a purifier instead, which jump-started the whole Mi Smart Home thing.
Okay, yeah.
The scooter. That's
so Xiaomi, if you're watching, we would love to be able to check out the scooter, check it out. Just getting kind of like a coast to coast kind of experience. You'll get the Asian market, you'll get the US market. We can make it happen. We'll make it go.
We'll do it.
Yeah. Just call me, Yeah. Call me again, actually. Speaking of the Mi TV stick, which is one of the really cool things, I hope it's going to work because, again, I'm running on internet, so I want to turn it on. I want to show you guys. So one of the other thing I also have the ability of doing is I can bring in third-party video. So my video is going to go away. My audio hopefully will stay. And I think the Mi TV should turn on if the internet works fine. And it may. I'm going to give it a second. I hope it does.
Let's wait for it for a hot sec. But that thing is tiny.
It is. They did a really good job in miniaturizing the size, which is, I've used them since the Mi TV, the Mi 4K. So those are the big ones. So here we are.
Fun.
Yeah. So sorry, it took a second there. I realized I did not plug the power to the right outlet. So it's booting up, and I'll give it a second to finish. So yeah, that's one of the reasons. Like I said, my entire thing is running on auxiliary power. And the weird part about it, I don't know if you can hear the fan. The fan is kicking in because I'm sucking power pretty badly. But let's go ahead and give it a second. So it's booting up right there. It runs Android TV, which is really cool. And I'll give it a second. Come on, Mi TV stick. Don't make me look bad. Turn on.
So that's something real quick to show you guys too.
Here it is. So yeah. See.
While we're doing it, oh my gosh, I can't believe that. That's so cool. Okay, so now I want the Mi TV. I was like, I'm okay with the Mi TV, but now that's so cool.
Yeah, and the really nice thing I love about it is you can power it from almost so it runs from the USB on the actual like power outlet that they give you, and they also included with it basically a USB-A to USB micro USB, and you can power it from the TV that you're connecting it to. So really low, easy. If your TV has a USB port, plug this into it. It pulls power. You can even use a power bank if you want to. In this situation right now, I'm running it off a power bank because I just don't have a connection. I ran out of outlets in the back of that power thing that I'm using. So really cool. Any monitor, anything like that. So and the video seems to be doing. Sorry, so that's wrong camera. Overhead.
That can be like a TV. It's crazy.
Yeah, so this is what we normally get with, let's say, an NVIDIA Shield TV, and even some of their older, like the Mi TV 4K ones. This one is a 1080p stick. The remote is very nice. Let's go ahead and switch over real quick to the remote. You could kind of see the remote runs very good, and I realized this would look better if we were just straight down. You can kind of see it right there, the Netflix, the button, and then I showed also, there's another video I did where we can remap the buttons. So it looks really good. and of course the Velvet. We'll talk about the Velvet in a second.
That's
But yeah,
cool.
it's a
I
top-down view
actually
of.
don't have the Me TV. That's why I was like pretty curious about it.
They do, and then I think so from a standpoint of there's a good response to it online, and I feel like this was to bring it down to that $40 or $39.99 price point. I mean, I think even with the early bird was 35. It's crazy. It has 8 gigs of RAM, 1 gig of ROM, 1 gig of RAM, 8 gigs of ROM internal storage, and I think those would have been maybe my only things if I had to kind of comment and say I would love to have a little bit more of maybe 2 gigs of RAM, expandable
Mhm.
storage. But for what it does, like you were saying, you're watching shows and so on, and being on. I think it was on Juan Carlos's live stream when you were talking. You were talking about how this entire time would have been very different if we didn't have Netflix or Hulu or Prime, right?
Yeah.
So to
Yes.
me, I am totally with you. Yes, my son would go crazy if we did not have Netflix. If HBO Max did not exist, or Disney Plus, actually, sorry, Disney did not exist, we would have gone crazy. He practically finished the entire season, the entire series of Simpsons.
Dude,
So
that's my dad right now. That's my dad. He's like, I have nothing to watch on Netflix, and I'm like, I have Apple TV. You can check that out. And so after like a week, he's like, I have nothing to watch on Apple TV. Like,
it's tough. It's tough. I mean, streaming content is always great, and what I love about it is the fact that it is portable now, and that we can watch it on many different things. And again, Xiaomi's introduction of the TV stick, I feel like it's a great price point. It's cheapest of all of the options they put out there. Works with, and what I love about it is, so I have it set up for my video setup here, but it'll work with your monitor, your PC monitors. If you're using, and most PC monitors have 2 HDMI ports, you plug that into with the other side, you give it a USB power, you're set.
oh, that's really cool.
So that was, yeah, you don't want to work, turn off the laptop, watch the shows, kick it, and then you have the remote control, which really works nicely. But some of the stuff that really shocked me at the end, so I'll be honest, and I didn't realize there was going to be some new phones. So those were, you have, okay, so which is that, the 9?
The Redmi 9 and the 9A that I haven't unboxed.
Okay. Tell us more, please, because yes.
I haven't. So okay. From my side of the world, I was telling everyone, we have so many phones launching at any given point. Like, I think last month we had like 11 phones between 2 brands launch. Like, we had 5 phones from Xiaomi launch last month, and that was
Wow.
just last month.
That was
Because it's crazy because so I was saying because while you were away, someone was
While I was away, yeah, I see how it is.
someone was asking about the OnePlus Nord, and I was saying, and someone said that it's a shame that it's probably not going to be released in the US or something like that. And I'm like,
Sadly, yeah.
I was like, that's pretty interesting to me because I feel like that is a device that your market needs. Like, it is a market that has a very big hole in the mid-range category. From my
Yep.
side of the world, the mid-range category has like 3 tiers, and that's just the mid-range category. So that's
Okay.
why Xiaomi launched 3 phones, because there were 3 mid-range devices, and Realme launched 3 phones too, because
Why not? It's that time. Yeah, it's June. We should do 3. I was surprised that there was 3, but the biggest surprise for me was that all 3 were under 150. Like we not one was here's the flagship, here's the mid range, and here's the budget. No, 150, 140, I want to say, and then 99.
Yeah.
Like the Redmi 9C.
Yeah. The 9C was below $100 technically, I think.
Yeah, because it was in euros, and euros and dollars are close enough. So I tend to, I tend to like parlay the line. Like, it's like $399, same thing.
Yeah.
But that was surprising.
But so it's, I would classify these new Xiaomi phones as part of the budget category. So they have 3. So now what's happening is mid-range they have 3, and I actually have. Wait, let me. So the Note 10 Lite was one of the phones.
Yep.
It's like upper mid-range, right?
It is. It's running the Exynos. I got a chance to play with it very briefly during CES. They had it on the show floor next to the S10 Lite.
And then they have the Note 9 Pro, which is technically under that. So in the Philippines, oh my gosh, there are four. Sorry, let me. Yeah,
I have the
exactly.
Redmi Note. Yeah, so I got the Note 9 Pro, which I was really happy. That's like 260 or 259, like ridiculously cheap from what it offers. That's the main thing. You can keep in mind what it offers you. So, but then the 9 and the 9A and the 9C, it was like, what?
But then you have the Realme 6 Pro that goes against this, or is it this one? So it's like all of a sudden in the mid-range category, you have six different phones competing,
Yeah.
which as someone who covers tech can be a pain if there's one of me and six phones. But from a consumer standpoint, it's amazing. Like you
Yeah.
have so many choices, and I love that. I always love that. I find that like a lot of people feel more empowered with where their money gets them in terms of devices because of the choice that these brands give. But
Hmm.
wait, why did we pivot to the phones again?
We were talking about the fact that the excitement that there was three phones announced under 150, and I love the fact that you brought in Realme, and you have also the Xiaomi and the I would say, like, so Realme is I think it's an Oppo sub brand. Is that true? Is it
It's an Oppo sub brand, but it
okay?
is so Oppo is sort of pivoting towards um a more like, how do I explain this? Basically, Realme, in my opinion, was something that they came up with to basically go against Xiaomi's budget devices, like more of value for money offering.
And I think that's a big. You're right. So at the beginning of this, you kind of made a really strong point with when you guys were talking about the Nord, and I think that's how it kind of just pivoted in a conversation. Um, so you have a big competition in the market, and when you have so many devices, does it ever become from a standpoint of somebody, let's say, that wants to go down and buy this? Are they available in stores, or are they all online? Are they online the way they have them in the US right now? Xiaomi, Oppo, and like even with the Redmi Note 9 Pro, that's all online. These are Amazon brands, or it's on Xiaomi's website. Is there physical stores? Does Xiaomi have a presence in the Philippines?
So many physical stores.
Okay, I love that. When I was in Shenzhen, I've never been to the Philippines, but the one time I did see a Xiaomi store. I'm sorry, not one store, but like a gazillion Xiaomi retail resellers. But like the brand Xiaomi is everywhere. But glad to see that. And I think one of the other videos I saw somewhere. Not that I'm not going to say I didn't do my homework before we started talking today. Uh, you mentioned that OnePlus does not have a presence. Is that still the case?
Yes. While you were away, we were talking about that. um,
Okay, well, thank you, everybody. I appreciate it. We'll be back next weekend.
we have an official reseller, but
Yeah.
we are not an official OnePlus country. Which, I mean, it's sort of sucks, but at the same time, I think it works against them, because if you have all these cheap Realme, Xiaomi devices, you come
Mhm.
in with a reseller, and it's not going to be the cheapest possible price point. So
So
there's
not that I want to joke with somebody, but somebody's just commenting. They're just egging me on right now. TK does homework. Good name for a new show. Yes.
you
Please come
should.
back next weekend with the Saturday morning. The Saturday morning with tech will be renamed to the TK does homework, and we'll be right back. But no, I think Issa and I we've crossed paths a few times in the past, and I'm not going to deny the fact that your name's been popping all over the place, going on, and I've seen you jumping on a couple of things. Last one I saw was Juan Carlos with the creator talk that I was on a few weeks prior to you, and those were very. I love his style of the way he approaches tech. It's very just to the point, and he speaks very, very. I love just his delivery. That's the best way to say. Juan Carlos's delivery is amazing. So it was enjoyable. And if you guys haven't had the chance to check it out, please make sure to check out Juan Carlos's channel. He does have a Patreon, but there was a great conversation between him and Issa for a nice creator talk that went up not that long ago. And then you were on Viper before then, hanging out with my buddy Viper there, kicking it.
Yeah,
So,
Viper. So of course, one is always like really fun to talk to. Trivia is that one was one of the first people I met at
Hmm.
a at one of the very first tech shows that I covered ever, which was part of the talk. So if you wanna like hear more about that, but so that's always been so fun. Viper, on the other hand, it was my first time speaking with him, like not on Twitter, and
Yeah.
his energy is just like, I mean, I've seen it in the videos, but like being there is just like it's all this energy. It was such a fun chat. I loved it. It's
And you could see that he's definitely very much a in the moment, and you feel the motions, and when he's excited, he's like, it just volume goes up and it gets very much, but definitely definitely check that out as well. I do want to say again, hi to Aditya, Matt, Tyler, our buddies over here, and of course Rita. So we talked about some of the stuff that we've covered. We talked about the Xiaomi event. So for me, I was very excited about the Redmi 9, the new line of 9 devices. Nord as a device so far, from what we're hearing, is not coming to the US. So OnePlus officially went up, and I think it was at Pete Lau that's mentioned it somewhere, that this is intended for the Asian market and the European market. So we know Europe, UK, EU will have it. And it sounds like Manila will, Asian markets, general, India, kind of the general area will get it. I didn't hear anything about the Middle East. So I don't know if any of my buddies in the Middle East in the chat know or have heard if Nord is coming. Please let me know. Mostly because I don't know if you're familiar with that, Issa. I produce English and Arabic videos. So I do content in 2 languages.
that,
So
which is also pretty cool to me. Like that's amazing.
it
It's
is.
not easy. It's not easy because
No, no.
you do like Tagalog videos, and I'm like, sure, but do you know how hard it is to create one video in 2 languages? That's
It's a challenge from it took me some time to think. It hit me last year at Google I/O when I was talking to a few creators, and they're like, you speak Arabic, but you don't do Arabic videos. How does that make sense? Why do you make only English? And I said, because that's what I live in America. I speak English all the time. I don't really, and then, the conversation started, and then it started producing videos there. It's a different mindset. It's a challenge. And then at the time, I was still heavily producing content on XDA. So there's always also that third part. So for me, Arabic, and if you're able to produce any kind of content in your own native language, it's a plus for anybody, because at the end of the day, if you think about it, that's a unique position that you have access to, where you are, because you have your connections through your English side, right? But very few people that are pure, let's say, Arabic or Tagalog, producers have the same connections. And if you parlay the English connections into the Tagalog side, that's a win-win for you.
I mean, it's always been
It's a challenge, but
people have suggested, but it's just like, honestly, it's like just making videos is so much work.
absolutely, yes.
There are days where I'm like, I want to, and Joshua knows this. Every other week, I have a mental breakdown, and I come to him, and I'm like, oh, do this and that and this, and nothing's happening, and I can't do it, and I'm so tired, and I'll say this again. Joshua is the best partner, not just like relationship wise, but also like work wise. Like he will support you. He has talked me through so many breakdowns, and he's just like calm and collected. He's gonna go like, babe, you do this every other week, right? And I was like, yes, but help me.
You say you're good, you're great. Don't worry about it. You're fine. Let's work on the next video. Yeah, no. We all hit that. So at the end, and I appreciate also, you bringing up that as a creator, right? I mean, it's been very different for us in the last few months, right? Without that, even as part of the equation, we normally have our processes, and we hit walls. We hit a creative challenge every once in a while, and also motivation, because you need to realize from the standpoint of the creator side. I mean, from the viewer, obviously, you guys get to see all of our final products, but the way we get to that level, it takes a lot of us. It takes us, especially when one person armies, and specifically, like Issa's explaining, we don't have editors, we don't have a team, we don't have hey, here's my files, please send me the video done, right? Issa and we have to shoot the videos, we have to come up with the ideas, we have to make our own PR, talk to content companies, and so on. And all of that happens in the background. That takes a lot of energy. So how? And I know you kind of hinted to us a little bit. You're having your challenges a little bit, but in the last few months, being that we're home all the time, How has that changed or how has that been going for you overall? Has it worked out? Have you figured out a way to get through it, or do you feel like we're still in that exploration of how to do things?
I think it goes like two ways because on one hand, just for the people and who are watching who
Hmm.
hi just met me hi I've always wanted my tech videos because I come from like a different perspective, right? I don't look at it as I want to make techie videos. It's basically I want to make lifestyle videos about tech, you know what I mean? So a lot of it's a little things. For example, a lot of the tech YouTubers, they have a style, you
Hmm.
know how their videos look, right? How the dramatic lighting with all the devices, how a lot of people do like dramatic lighting on their face and a dark background, and it's a tech YouTuber, and it,
Yeah.
it looks good, like it looks really good. But personally, I wanted the feel of my videos to be, some girl in a coffee shop chatting in a bright airy room with plants. And Joshua knows this because I remember needing to shoot something in his office, and he kept turning off the lights and I kept turning it on, and he was just like, I'm getting the room ready, and I'm like, no, I'm getting the room ready. Why are you turning it off?
Oh,
Why?
this is when you were here, right? Yeah, I remember. Yeah, the office. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, his whole setup. And it's like, for me, I wanted all of my videos to have like an on location shoot. I wanted segments with outfits with if I'm shooting a smartwatch, I want a whole outfit with it. If I'm shooting a phone, I want manicures with it. And I wanted to be out and about and showing the world. And lockdown happened.
I
And it's
know.
all of a sudden I have my room and all these ideas. So that was the hard part for me, like just pivoting everything.
Yeah.
Before the lockdown happened, if you look at my content, like me and Joshua, we weren't really at one place for long, if that makes sense. Even
Mhm.
me being home, I've never been home this long for years. Like even before I started my channel because of work, like it just hasn't happened. But on the other
It's.
hand,
Mhm.
I'm just and I talked to Joshua about this. We tell each other that we just take this time to work on ourselves because the end goal really is at the end of the day see each other after all this, because we are living proof that technology can help relationships. This is the longest we haven't seen each other in this LDR. It's crazy. But
It has been, and it seems like it's still going. That's the part. Sorry.
I mean, we just it's really, what else can we do at home at this point? It's at this point, I'm just gonna work on me, figure my stuff out, and I guess the silver lining in all of this is that being steady for a hot second helps you sort of absorb things better, helps you
Hmm.
look inwards better. Like the whole smart home thing is something I've never actually looked at, but always wanted to do, but I was never home enough, you
It
know?
exactly. No, you had because you have to focus on certain whatever your I guess the next project, and it's harder to focus on home when, as you said, with the amount of launches that are going on in the Asian market. That's one thing I realized that you and Josh would usually go, between Computex, between covering Xiaomi or even Oppo launches, especially for the Asian market. It's hard. It's hard trying to focus on home stuff.
Yeah.
For me, the challenge has been mostly bringing in the day job level of experience that I do, and my YouTube side, and then of course family side, because my son stays home now, and we have to do
Yeah,
school and all of the things going on. Yeah.
yeah, because wait, I totally forgot. You have a day job.
Yes. Yes. So there's the
Then,
other part.
I've told you this in person. I'm still mind blown at how you can do all of this with your day job. You are awesome, TK.
I
If I have
I
not
I
set it off,
it's
I'm myself
it's a
crazy
challenge.
in my head. But you, hands
It's
down.
I I say this, and I say this very not very easily. It's a lot of work, but it also is something that every once in a while, as you call Josh and you talk to Josh about certain things, I do the same, and I hit up Josh and I'm like, dude, I am just not getting this. This is not, and this is one thing that, and just for you guys also in the chat that you guys will notice is we do talk to each other offline. For support purposes and so on. And Juan Carlos has also been a great soundboard for me. And that's the biggest part that I miss about this lockdown is the ability of hanging out with you guys and getting a chance to see you. Luckily yesterday, Josh and I had an opportunity to do and he keeps saying it's a socially distant hangout. So we went to an outdoor experience, and I got the chance, and you guys saw the tweet, you saw the Instagram. I got my hands on the velvet.
I love
the velvety goodness. It looks so good. The design, the case itself. The first thing that struck me about this is the case itself looks amazing. By comparison to the V60, it's not as thick, and the color on it. And there's a front display. It actually is a display that works.
I love that phone. Probably one of my favorite devices this year. I've always said that I like devices. I'm curious. Okay, one, I'm curious about what you think about it, but from my perspective, it's one of those devices that I feel looks to people like me and thinks, what would they want? It's the same thing with the Z Flip. A lot of people love it. A lot of people hate it, but I
love it. I love it. I loved all colors of it. I wanted the gold one, but yeah, go ahead. Go on.
Beautiful. But yeah, I've noticed that a lot of people who did not like it were people from not my demographic, because people from my demographic will always love that thing. It's the first device I brought home that my sister was curious about. It's the first device I brought home that an aunt wanted. An aunt.
Because aesthetically it looks very nice. Even in the case, but the one. So Josh, I think got a different color than what you got. I think you got was it the purple one, or I think?
Yes, let me pull it up.
So I will always refer to this as Josh, because I'm going to have to give this back to Josh once I'm done, if he can prow it out of my hands. But no. Yes. So yours, it definitely has more of it's a dual tone. I can see some yellow hints into it a little bit.
It's like,
yeah, so this one looks really nice. It's a greenish. Let's go ahead and give you guys a little bit of a quick look here. So it's a green tone. And yeah, and Issa has hers. And of course, the case itself is really thin. The glass is actually literally, it's almost the thickness of the glass for the display. You slide it in if you do it correctly so that Tika doesn't look bad. Put it in, put it down, and then give it a second. Turn on the dual display.
And I love the whole wallpaper thing, how it all like works, like when you plug it in and it just like does that little animation.
Absolutely. And there's a lot of things going on with it. So that was very much a good thing for me that I got a chance to hang out with Josh yesterday. We got it, and then of course I thanked him again for many different things that he's done over the years. But again, he and I hang out a lot, and when you were here with us, I think was it last year, that was also a lot of fun to be able to see you at the office over there. But so I wanted to kind of bring it back to kind of like the whole situation that's going on. The impact that we've seen mostly is we're starting to see more online launch events. How has that been? Or what do you, being that you've obviously experienced a lot more in person, and now we've had a few, right? We saw, I think was it Oppo, Oppo India did the Find X2 online. Yes. We saw Xiaomi doing the online. And then Samsung has actually announced that the Note Unpacked will be online. What do you feel like? Do you like them? Do you feel like they're too rehearsed, or?
So for me, covering online events isn't really new, because I used to work for a publication. So we did to tune into online events a lot. Like even if we had someone at the event, we'd be tuned into the announcement. So not really new to the idea, but the idea that that's all we have is a whole different thing altogether. Right now, my main issue is that Unpacked will be online, and I don't know if I'll be able to have access to a device, which is a big problem for me, because I'm okay with I mean, of course, I always miss the real thing, right? But I mean, what can we do at this point? I'm okay with online launches
Hmm.
as long as we're able to get access to the device, which
Yeah.
from my side of the world can be a pain because one, if I'm talking to HQ, which
Hmm.
happens, and I'm not talking to the local brand, because so one thing about launches in the Philippines is that they happen months later if they even bring the device to the country at all.
Okay.
So since I cover global tech and not just the Philippine side of it, I
Hmm.
also talk to people from the brand globally, and
Exactly.
them sending me devices can be a pain because I have to deal with customs, and to be very nice about it, they're not the easiest to deal with.
No, no, and I've
You
learned that
learn.
a little bit the harder. Yeah, I recently had to ship something to the Philippines. One of the viewers in the comments, one a device that we had, it was a little bit of a challenge to try to find a company that ships to the Philippines, but also the process of getting it there was a little bit more complicated. So,
You know, I've
yeah.
I've gotten, so I have gotten devices that were sent to me weeks before the launch, and I got
Mhm.
them after they did launch. So as a
Oh,
content creator, that's really bad because I was part of that initial embargo, and then I end up not having anything for it. Which, I mean, of course, if you think about it, that's my bread and butter. That's
it
me.
is. It
Um, I mean, right now I have like two devices stuck in there, and
it's a very big different. Exactly. No. So one of the big things obviously is that, launch events, you would mean that you'd be able to work up, you meet up with your PR contacts, you'd be able to do, get that personal in-person conversation, and then of course in general, hopefully hardware to be able to review or at least start working on something. Um, the different thing that I've seen for my side, it's been a little bit different. So for me on Samsung stuff, I generally I get invited, but I think I'm not at the level where I need to be able to be on there on the list of Samsung stuff, which is not a big issue. What I tend to do is I try to cover it from the carrier point of view, because once the carriers in the US get them, and that's when our US user, the consumer, the US consumer starts purchasing them, I'm able to produce content around that. But like this will be interesting. I was at the February launch event in San Francisco for the S line, for the S20 and so on. Great devices, and the one thing I noticed with the current situation that's going on, I've had more like since then started to work with Oppo. I've started to work with Xiaomi. Those are two brands that I wasn't even associated with prior to the lockdown, and I don't think they probably would have noticed me. So I feel like it kind of works a little bit differently both ways. I feel like um, it kind of worked a little bit better for me. I don't want to say, knock on wood. Hopefully, it keeps going that way, and I do hope that at some point, like I said, the situation does actually shift to be more streamlined, to get things to you where you are, or obviously if you're traveling around and you're going to different events, or you're in the US visiting us and stuff like that, things could be a little bit easier, because I imagine Josh's Josh, it would be easier just to have things go to Josh and you guys work out together.
oh no, for real. Because I've done it. I've had something shipped from the same place, from
Mhm.
China to the US versus China to the Philippines. China to the US was 3 days. I kid you not. You know how long
Wow.
it took for it to get to the Philippines? Fastest, probably a week.
Wow.
It's
You're a
and
lot
that's
closer.
yeah.
Okay.
It's
That is
it's
okay.
crazy. It's crazy because the Shenzhen airport where
Mhm.
stuff gets routed from is
Yeah,
actually,
everything I get literally from China, it's through
yeah,
Shenzhen. Yeah.
like a 2 3 hour plane ride. So it's
Wow.
just the process. The it's
The
bad.
customs, the imports, and so
Yeah.
yeah.
It's just bad, and I mean it's not anything that these brands can fix. I mean a lot of things need fixing. They're not the answer. Um,
Some of it, you're right. It's it's almost like they'd have to plan for it now. It's if they can, they should be able to plan for at least a little earlier for you, so they can get things in there.
They try their best, and I'm thankful for it. I'm thankful for it. I'm thankful for their patience.
Mhm.
They're
No,
very patient about it, so it's good. But I mean, so that's the internet on the international level. But like the local brands have been very good about getting stuff to us by the time their stuff launches, because they also realize that the hype can't, like, people won't be curious about their devices if no one has seen any of it, right? So
absolutely.
um they've locally, it's been very good too. They've been very what is the word, productive, no, but I mean, it's been, they've been on a roll.
Okay.
They've been
Yeah,
on
no,
a
no.
Yeah. But I think one struggle that we creators have that isn't something that people realize is there, is the fact that being creators on the internet at this point in time, at a point in time where, if you think about it, we shouldn't be affected. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
We're not going outside to work. We're our own bosses. We have our time to ourselves. We have our own schedules. So logically, we should be thriving, if that makes sense. Because versus people who had to adjust their jobs, or versus people who had to move and change things around or whatever, we are our own bosses, and by all accounts, we should be able to do all that work, right? But
Exactly.
at the end of the day, we're still in the middle of a pandemic, and the mental, emotional toll of all of that makes it so hard to create. And especially if your job deals with creation, like, it really matters what your state of mind is.
It has, you have to be in the, not only calm enough, but also in that creative mode. You have to be in that creative, to be able to kind of put the thought process to, to draw out, to, put together a video, because it's more than just, I find that people that generally usually write articles, or that compose their thoughts good enough in an article, are able to basically understand and work together and get better into making videos, because a video is a composition of certain things put together in an order, obviously, and your style, of course. My initial thing when I first started seeing online launch event, and I think, not that I want to kind of just reference OnePlus for the sake of referencing them, but they kind of started doing online launches a long time ago, right? The virtual launches,
Yeah.
and they then shifted to in person, and then now, as we all know, literally in about 3 days, we're going back to the online launch of the first VR experience with the Nord. And I do want to mention to everybody in the comments, I do apologize. I know we're not answering every question coming up, but I did see the question about the X50. We will talk about the Vivo X50. I don't know if you have access to the X50, Issa. I know I don't have it. I think Josh has one.
I don't have
So,
it. It makes me sad.
yeah, I know. Vivo, I don't know. Like, we have, no, I got a chance to see some content put out on it, but we will answer that one. What I wanted to kind of touch base on the Nord launch event is, this is something that OnePlus did. They know how to do it. They've done it very well. They built up the hype. They're doing their normal PR. I call it the PR machine, kind of doing their normal PR stuff, right?
They're really good at creating that hype.
It is, but they got good at it though, right? Like, they tease up enough things, and then there was that whole Marquez video that drops, where like practically giving us everything, and they show us like early productions.
Yeah.
That was classic OnePlus.
It's
Oh my God. Okay, so this is funny. Look who just woke up, sleepyhead.
it's great, but it's also, I feel like, because they've been doing it, I sort of expect them to like level up. I don't know if that's fair to them, because I mean, but I need, like, if I see like just a normal presentation, I'm not gonna be happy because I expect more.
Exactly. It's kind of like what Siobhan's saying right there, is they need to have, the hype is real. Is it as good as it's going to be?
Yeah.
So obviously we're all going to find out exactly. We've seen leaks galore on the Nord. Yeah, the leaks galore from the naming to the color to the early designs, at least from what we
Like
saw.
the leaks thing, huh?
Yeah, no, it just there's too many leaks. And then I don't know if you noticed, but Pete Lau is wearing a blue pair of headphones. So everybody's like zooming into Pete Lau's ears now, and like so there's also obviously other rumors going on about OnePlus releasing headphones. They were supposed to come out like true wireless headphones, not just the wireless stuff that we have. So I saw those, and in the whole video, and I'm like, okay, are those? Is he going to talk about them? Is he not? Short answer, if it's anything like any of the other OnePlus devices that we've seen, just say that, okay? Just look at it, who's making the product.
Yeah.
It's going to deliver. It's going to be fast.
Mm-hmm.
The price is going to be the biggest thing for me right now because a few weeks ago, I think some people in the chat mentioned that it was going to be roughly about $350, equivalent to $350 in rupees. I don't know the exact number in rupee as far as how much it's going to be. But that's going to be the biggest thing. How is it going to be? And is it going to be able to compete, especially since it's going into a market that you're saying has a lot of other devices that are already well-known, comfortable, been there for a while.
So I was actually speaking with Joshua about this. So I was telling him that I was actually very, very curious as to how this is all gonna end up, because I don't know if it's gonna be like 300, because someone did say it was gonna be like $350 from rupees, but then someone is saying that it's gonna be like below $500, and usually when brands say it's below $500, what, it's gonna be like $499.
Exactly, yeah, $499.99. It's below.
I was talking to him about the possibilities of what these phones could go against, because if it's below $500, I don't know if we have like Indian viewers right now, but like it would probably go against the Poco F2 and the Realme X3, which I have here, which are by all accounts
by the way,
flagship devices, which cost a fraction of the cost. If it's gonna be like $350, it's gonna go against like the Realme 6s or the Realme 6 Pros or something like that. And it's like it's crazy to me, because they are literally entering a market where they could possibly be eaten by the sharks. They're entering a very tough market. And like I was saying, if they enter the US market, it would have been like way easier sell.
It would have been like, there's nobody there. Just go in and have it right now. Just have lunch. Don't worry about us. It's a tough one. It's a tough one. And I think the best way to say, so we know it's not coming now, but it doesn't mean that it's not coming in the future. Well, I think what they're trying to do is test it out in markets that they feel like they have a little bit better presence, maybe. When I was talking to Josh a couple of was it yesterday or before, so I envisioned the reason why I felt like the Nord came to be is because if you think about it, the OnePlus 8 and the OnePlus 8 Pro, both, or the OnePlus 8, so the Pro is too high, starts at $700 in the US. That's already out of the mid-range. So OnePlus has, in the US market, left the mid-range price point. The 7T was the last device they released that sold for about $499. So that was the $500 mark. And it still sells very nicely, and it's still a very good device. I like it. I like what it offers, the cameras, the form factor, the price point, the feature. And this is why I'm excited to see what OnePlus brings. How is, maybe this is, you can help me, because from my point of view, I haven't really seen a lot of the post-sale support. Do mid-range devices, like do you, when you buy a mid-range for $300-$400 equivalent or so, what do you expect from a support standpoint? Do you anticipate getting 2 software updates, a lot of monthly update software? So do you know, like, if you're going to get an update to Android 11 or Android 12? Are those in the purchasing price that you're thinking of, or are you accepting that you get what you get and you're living with that for an amount of time?
So, I mean, first of all, from my side of the world, a $300 dollar device can get you quad cameras and dual selfie cameras. Like it's good. It's you can get a 5G device, a mid-range 5G device with a little over $300. You have the Huawei Nova 7 SE. So they're not bad. They're very good phones. As with software updates, it's probably not going to be the best, but it's also not going to be like something
Not
that you
existing.
can use, yeah, like after a year or so. No, it's these are very durable phones. These are great value for money phones.
Hmm.
These are phones. These phones are the reason why when someone says that, I mean, the iPhone SE is good value for money, people from Asia don't believe it, if that makes sense.
Oh, okay.
Because from our point of view, it's an expensive freaking phone that looks old. If
It is a this you're right. It is a recycled design from circa 2 to 3 years ago, and it's very much a. It was an upgrade to a device that came out a long time ago, and I feel like the only people that generally will find it as exciting are generally people that want a small form factor for an iPhone because it's a smaller phone. Uh, but it also, for us, it's cheap, I guess, because yes, the next thing to that would be like a $700 or $800 iPhone. So it is cheaper. You're right. So, but you're right. If it's a market where it's already having like, and what Aditya was mentioning, like the Velvet that comes in around that, like a reasonable pricing there. Other devices like the Pixel 4a that's potentially also going to be running around similar specs. I'm interested to see if it is going to be that one little wild card that Nord will be, is that OnePlus will bring that OnePlus support that comes after sale, right? We
that
we
might
get updates. Yeah.
that might be the one big selling point. It's really the software. In terms of the hardware, I'm not sure like what they have or what they're willing to put on the table, because hardware wise, it's really
Yeah, Josh is like, no, he's like, no, they're targeting the SE. I think you have a point. I think there's a very big target on the back of the SE right now because of that. That price point, they kind of gave a target and said, hey, everybody, can you beat this line? Can you go? And I think maybe the Nord will try to get there. And I think that it would be beneficial for them to create that conversation. But it is always going to be interesting because if you think about it, the SE is running the flagship processor, so it's running the A13 of Apple's processors, where the Nord, we're anticipating it coming with the 765G, which is not a flagship. And I know a lot of people will maybe kind of put it into the mid range, but think of it, it's literally the best mid range you can get. It's the top of the cream of the crop when it comes to that, with 5G built in. So I'm very excited, and we are, as I said, a few days away. Hopefully, we'll find out more what's going on. I have a buddy of mine in the chat that's helping me trying to secure one, because
so.
it's
John,
not launching in the U.S. It's not coming at all in the U.S. So
no,
yeah,
I
that's
don't know how I'm gonna get my hands on it either. Like historically, I've had trouble like getting hands on OnePlus devices as well. We'll see, we'll see. Hopefully, we have that happen. But so I asked about this on Twitter, and someone from India actually said that, and Joshua also pointed this out to me, that in India these are devices that are highly sought after because of the brand. So it's also something that we have to take account of. So like if it's a brand that's a certain status, and then they come up with like a more budget friendly device. So I mean, another thing that I have noticed is that, you know, a while back, if you say a device is launching in China, you have the China version, mostly because it
Mhm.
has Chinese software, and then they launch it outside of the world with just a different software, right?
I think
But in
OnePlus. So I think OnePlus has historically done that with Hydrogen OS and Oxygen OS. So they're two versions of their operating system, but intended for different markets. And I think from XDA, a lot of people love converting the software once they get the hardware. Yeah, because you're right. They tend to sell it slightly cheaper in India, which to the comments that we saw before. The market is definitely, the price is adjusted for the market that it's going in. And they tend to export it, and then what they do is they convert it from hydrogen to oxygen, and it, for the most part, runs the same. It may not have all the exact bands, but for 4G LTE, so I haven't seen much with 5G. But I am excited. I'm still excited for it. I was excited in general, mostly for any OnePlus launch. In the US, I've had a good relationship with them, so they've been definitely friends of the channel, as well as Josh can attest to how he, we all love OnePlus here. So hopefully we'll find out more, and the sales will start going on. They did a few flash pre-sales on Instagram. We had a few.
Instagram account.
Speaking of which, before I forget, before we go too far, I do want to mention to everybody in the comments that Josh is going to be on Across the Podcast tomorrow. Joshua Vergara is going to be on tomorrow. And I am apologizing now to both Matt and Sam because Josh cannot show the Velvet in the show. I kind of borrowed it. So sorry, Matt. Sorry, Sam. Maybe next time.
So he'll be fine.
It is no, because I saw the comment. I think I saw Matt mentioning, can you show the Velvet on the show tomorrow when you come over? And then Josh is like, I can't. TK took it. I was like, sorry, not sorry. No, I haven't had an opportunity to play with it, and both Josh and Juan Carlos had a chance to check it out. So I was lucky enough when I hit him up and I was like, hey, any chance you may be able to let it go for a week or so? And he's like, yeah, I think I'm okay with that. So, we got a chance to meet. So, but look forward to that tomorrow, 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time in California. And I think it's 9 p.m. UK time. And I'm going to say it's probably like really early in the no, it should be morning for you, I think, right? Roughly?
Oh.
Like morning time? 1 in the afternoon, our time?
1 in the afternoon, your time is what time in our...
well, let me ask this. What time is it for you now?
It's 2:30.
So 4 a.m. your time. Early. So it's too early. Yes.
Semi wake up for that.
She may be up for you, Josh. No. You know what I mean, though. But yeah, so it's a timing thing. So that'll be Sunday night by early morning Monday. Please make sure to check it out. Make sure to show some love for both Matt and Sam. And of course, Sam and Matt are great friends of the channel. Aditya, Josh as well. Yeah, see, Josh just kind of confirmed that that'll be 4 a.m. He's like, he knows it.
Josh is a great friend of mine.
Yeah. Oh my God! Hold on. So in India right now, it's almost midnight for Siobhan. Thank you for hanging out with us. And it's 2:30 a.m.
Yeah.
See, I tell you right there. See, they understand. So guys, when I first thought about talking with Issa and checking it, trying to discuss and stuff like that, I looked at the time difference between us. It's a really weird, I already thought, China was at a weird time zone, or, Hong Kong time, but it was that weird, 10 to 1, but she was gracious enough. And I do want to say thank you for hanging out with us, partying with us. And I told Josh yesterday, I said, please apologize on my end. He said, no, dude, she'll be fine. I'm like, okay. I'm
up at really weird times. To be honest, I reviewed the Mi Band and tested my sleep scores, and because I was up editing that, it completely switched my sleeping habits. So now my sleep scores are bad. But if I'm not on your podcast, I'd probably just be frustrated, tossing and turning. I have really bad sleeping habits. Joshua can attest to this. So this is actually good because at least I'm productive.
It is, and that's the thing. Yeah. Exactly. And speaking of which I haven't had a chance to check out on much. How is the laptop situation? Are you still, if you guys haven't followed it, Issa has been, she'll mention it obviously on Twitter and so on. There's this saga of how does Issa get a laptop of her own? She's been borrowing. So how are things going on?
So this started because Peak Design bags are so good, guys. Peak Design bags are so good, and I love that I have their white tote pack. I love that they actually made them in white, and here comes these bags that look good and are actually really functional. They are so good that when you spill water inside your bag with your laptop in it, it will keep the water inside your bag with your laptop in it. Inside with your laptop where the water is.
That was bad. Okay, sorry. I went the other way around. I was expecting a better. Okay.
Yeah, no. Joshua's car didn't get wet because it was all inside the bag. It's that good. It's water repellent, you guys. Just make sure the water is on the other side of the bag. So basically, my laptop went swimming. Came home. So this happened 3 days before I was supposed to fly back. So I actually went to an Apple store, but it's not like they were gonna get it fixed on time. So I was just let's do it here, blah blah blah. Basically what happened was it just was broken. So I did decide on getting. So my dad has an extra Mac. Don't ask me why. My dad, he's don't ask me why. He had an extra Mac. I used that for a bit, but so that extra Mac, he switched to an S solid state drive.
Mm-hmm.
But for some reason, it conked out while I was using it. So we had to
Okay.
send it to the US where he bought it, and that took time. So I
Yeah.
don't have a laptop, so I decided to get a laptop, but to get a laptop that's customized, a MacBook that was customized. So usually it would be like 2 weeks for shipping, but to have it customized would be like a month. So I did that. But in the meantime, the new MacBooks launched, so I canceled that and got a new MacBook. But then, so when MacBooks launch, they don't immediately launch in Manila. So
Oh,
actually,
so it's the same delay happens again. Yeah.
so it was just only available for purchase like 2 weeks ago, finally. And
Okay.
so I ordered it 2 weeks ago, but it takes around a month for it to get here. So hopefully by the end of this month, I actually have my own laptop. This laptop, so the other laptop, we got the solid state drive, so I sort of have a temporary one
Mm-hmm.
right now. But so that was the whole long story.
So it seems like it's hopefully ending in a couple of weeks. So in a couple of weeks, you should be new MacBook. Hopefully, okay, good. So the good thing is at least we're seeing some progress on that, because I know that was a point of frustration for you, especially. It takes enough energy to try to create something, but then having to use your production machine with somebody then obviously needs to use it for work. So it's not like they're just keeping it for the sake of keeping it. So for me, it's
I squatted on my dad's laptop for around 2 weeks. Can you imagine shooting in the day, waiting for him to sleep, editing only at night? I was like, this is so bad. I've never been so desperate to edit anything. Like, I would wait on him to finish work. I'd have a bag with like my hard drives and my cords and everything ready. And I'd be like, are you done? Okay, thanks. Can I get off the laptop now? Because, it'd be like 4 a.m. I'd go to sleep at 4, wake up after lunch, do whatever, and then start editing at like 9 p.m. It's like, this feels like the night shift.
it's you have to do what you can. You're right. It's hard. It's hard to do, especially when you're having to share. But you know what? It's been working. We're almost at the end of the tunnel. I've been wanting to check with you mostly because I know it was at least it seemed like it was a point of concern for you for some time online. And I think Josh was also kind of throwing in some. I think he's also in the comments jumping in. I do want to say thanks to Matt Tyler for the super chat. Thank you very much. Definitely, right?
On your show.
Yeah, they're great. So as you'll get a chance to check it out tomorrow, Josh is going to be on, and I think it'll be very interesting to check it out. They've been trying to get the scheduling working, so tomorrow kind of ended it to be a good time for us. So definitely, we'll try to. I'm sure you can connect through Josh or on Twitter. But with that being said, I think that was the biggest challenge for me. Also trying to keep things kind of running. So transitioning over with Nord and all of the stuff that we talked about, hopefully we'll have to see that. I did want to circle back on something that happened with me here last week with the live chat, and I think before we get to that one, I do want to say let's actually give away the actual headphones. We've kept the guys going on. It's been an hour and 27 minutes. We teased at it at the beginning. Maybe I'll since you're the guest of honor, let's go with this. Think of a question that obviously
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Wait, let me pull up the earphone stats. I was just looking at it just so I know. Okay. Okay. I don't know what to ask.
So think about it for a second. Let me just say real quick, thanks to Greg as well for joining us here. Thank you very much. Greg is also another big fan. Thank you for the super chat. And of course, Aditya, thank you, TKR Bay. We need a new hashtag for Issa. So guys, we need a new Issa hashtag.
But I've been seeing that hashtag and I love that. That's an awesome hashtag. Keep that and use that every single time.
Absolutely, absolutely, and it was actually it was Aditya and Matt that started it back when when Josh. Sorry, see, I keep confusing. Juan Carlos and I hang out. It always ends up being where they always bring like Tiki Arbe and Josh. Sorry, Juan Carlos has the every time he does something, we always throw the some gadget guy or some audio guy, some play guy, some whatever. It's always a hashtag. So we need to figure out something for you, kind of to welcome you into the hashtag group. But
Okay.
I'll do one more real quick. Last one is Aljoka. Thanks for answering the questions. TK was okay. Thank you. Oh no, always appreciate it. Thank you very much, guys. And now I'm starting to blush. The super chats are like hitting one after another. Okay. Last one, it would be a real quick super sticker. Thank you. Oh, Mr. Comer, thank you very much for joining and hanging out with us, and Rhonda as well. But I will go ahead and give you the stage. Let us know which question you feel like you'd like to ask. And guys, the first person to answer, obviously, we will. And this is international, so please feel free to answer anyway.
Guys, get ready. And this might take a little bit of like Googling. But they said this at the launch about the Mi True Wireless Earphones 2 Basic. It's a long name, but you get what I'm talking about. So, how many hours of total battery time does these new earphones have? Go. Okay.
So remember, guys, how many total hours of usage? So not just the headset, but the entire thing.
Yeah. Ooh, there we go. We already got away. I think this is in order, right? So I think that
it should be. Yeah. So as long as you scroll, you can scroll. You should be able to scroll up and see the first answer. I think.
Yeah, I think it was Rishi Raj who got the right answer first. Can you?
Let me see. Okay, so Rishi Raj. So I think the answer is. Am I correct? Actually, I could be wrong. I thought it was 20 hours, right?
20 total hours.
20 total hours. Okay, so the first person that I see here that even said it is Rishi Raj, but the weird part about it is, Rishi, I think, if I'm not mistaken, didn't you win one of them? Rishi?
Oh.
No, so I just want to make sure, because it was separate competition, but I just want to double check with you. So I don't know if you won the same one, but let me double check on that. I think the one right. I have to double check. So Rishi, I do want to mention. Because this is the same competition from Xiaomi, I don't know if they will be willing to put it in two at the same time. So that may be one thing I do want to mention. I do apologize. But the gentleman that was right under that, and if it is my mistake, Rishi, I will get back with you. I think, where is it? Rishi Rupak, I think, right?
Yes.
Okay. So Rupak Chanda is the person, and I will circle back with you, Rishi, on that one. I do remember, obviously, since we've been communicating.
Rishi won Mi TV.
Oh, okay. So let me double check, Rishi. I'll talk to Xiaomi about this, because again, the prices are going from Xiaomi. So as long as they're willing, we'll be able to work something out if that works out for you. Okay, I'll let you know. But I do apologize for that confusion there. But without confirming, Rupak, definitely, Chanda, congrats on this one. Do me a favor, Rupak, once the video is done, once the live stream is done, I need you to come back and comment on the video that goes live, so that we can have proof of, you commenting, and obviously, not to say that you're not, but to make sure that it's not a bot or anything like that. So we have a traceability for YouTube as well. And also make sure to make sure that it follows YouTube's policy that it was given to person on YouTube, not taken to any other site, and all of that good stuff. Because for some reason, comments, when we do video live stream, all the comments that we have there in video, they don't transfer to the video after. So all of these conversations, sadly, this is why I also put them in the video, so that we're able to confirm. And then here, Rishi, just to make sure that you did actually say that, so we don't have any, so we don't, you're not going to say that nobody has proof of it. It is here. Yeah. But thank you for that question, Issa, for helping give out. And it was a mistake on my side during the live stream on Tuesday. Again, I got excited, and it was like, wow, like, really? I did 15 items. It was total, like,
Yeah.
At the beginning, they told me it was like, we're going to give out 5 things. I'm like, okay, 5, that's fine. And then when they finalized everything, they're like, no, we're going to go up to 15. I'm like, what? How do I keep track? It was a lot.
I was jealous. I was just like, can I join? Oh yeah, I was this close to try because I saw you and Ben and who else was it? Frankie Tech, and I was just like, I want to join.
It was a pure last minute thing. I found out that they would like to do something on Friday last week, and by Monday we solidified it. So I hinted to people during Saturday's show last Saturday that there was something coming up on, I think it was Wednesday. Sorry, and I was like, hey, keep an eye out. Something exciting, something can be coming up. So really, really happy about that one. But what I did want to segue to and talk a little bit about, and you guys will probably appreciate on, is, if you guys remember last week, we were looking at Ghost Tech, and we looked at Ghost Tech, and we were talking about cases, and Matt Tyler will be the reason why I did that. We found that they had a specific case made for a device. Let's go ahead and bring this device name in focus for you guys. A Pixel 4a case. I ordered it when we were talking, and dude, this thing showed up. I didn't think it was going to ship. I honestly thought they were going to find out and they're going to cancel the listing, and nothing happened. But it did show up. So obviously the Pixel 4a still hasn't come out, but we're starting to see a lot more things.
Wait, okay, sorry, my brain lag. It's the Pixel 4a case.
So they did. So Ghost Tech, we did. They sent me some cases last week. Just a little bit of a background story. And they sent me cases for the V60. They sent me cases for the S20 Ultra and the S20. And in the middle of the show, out of like left field, what's it called? Matt Tyler, so the gentleman that Josh will be hanging out with tomorrow afternoon. You know what? Hold on. So Josh is pointing out, he's kind of like asking, as I'm explaining. So here's the Pixel 3a, Josh. Oh, sorry. So this is where I need to go a little wider on the view angle because it gets a little bit confusing. So here, so from a size comparison, it actually is a little bit smaller. It's smaller than the Pixel 3a. It's weird. Like you can see here, like level, they're not exactly the same size. So I initially thought this was a Pixel 3a case. It's not. And it looks like, just from a form factor, and by the way, here's your the Pixel 3a is running Android 11, so it does the aggregate comments. It's a little bit smaller. Fingerprint sensor is in the same, but obviously we see the new square casing on the top. It has a kickstand. We have volume rocker, power button, headphone jack, as well as obviously a microphone, bottom cutouts, and of course USB-C connection. So we kind of, from a form factor, it's definitely smaller, one-handed, very easy to reach the top. So I am surprised. I am surprised that they shipped it. I'm surprised that it's still on there. But now all I need is a phone, because this is it's like getting the saddle before the horse, right? What can you do with the case without a phone? But it showed up.
Is there any confirmation as to like when the 4a will even ship?
No, not. I mean, so there's been enough rumors to cover the specs, right? There's supposedly going to be 2 versions of it. A 765 version of it that will have 5G, because there is a 5G version of it. So that'll be the 765. And then I heard also that there would be a 720 version, which would be, they're both 700 series processors, but the 720 will be the LTE model, and the 765 will be the 5G model. When are they going to be launched? That's the mystery, right? We're starting to see rumors about the Pixel 5 coming out in the next few months, which again with Android 11 coming out very soon. So I don't know. I don't. And then the rumors that the Pixel 5 will have a 7 series chipset, that it's not going to be an 8 series chipset like what we usually get. A whole bunch of things going on. But I wanted to kind of bring it back to the guys, because he generally put it in. He asked me to check the Find X2 Pro case, because he has a Find X2 Pro as well. So we went to their website live during the chat, during the live stream, and then lo and behold, I see a Pixel section, and I'm like, what do you mean Pixel? And then I click it, and it says Pixel 4a, and you can see close-ups of the lens, and just overall, it was absolutely fun. I ordered it as soon as the live show was done, and it showed up yesterday. So
oh my god!
So now we need a phone. We just need a phone. So Google, if you're watching, please hook a brother up. Or let us know. I would say let us know when.
what is it? Team what? Team, sorry guys, it's late. I want to be Team Pixel.
It's right here.
Oh,
Team
there
Pixel.
you go. Yeah.
Shamelessly plugging it. No, Josh pointed out to me that I put the sticker for Team Pixel there. Yeah, Team Pixel. Hopefully, I'm just wanting to even just kind of announcing like some more information, maybe a launch event of sorts. But I think we kind of talked a little bit about the whole launch events and things. I think at least for the foreseeable future, we know that launch events are going to be online. I think there's going to be a push for companies to be more creative in the way they engage viewers online. I think Apple did an amazing job when it came down to the presentation that they think, even though it was a pre-recorded show, obviously none of it was live actually. I felt like they did a really good job keeping it interesting, keeping it dynamic and conversational. Like you watched it and you didn't feel like you were watching a show. You felt like you're watching a movie, right?
I agree.
The camera angles, the going from Tim up to the second floor, the whole aerial. So all of those things are cool. I think OnePlus is definitely up to it. So I'm really excited to check out the Nord on Tuesday. I want to say, is it Tuesday? Right, it's Tuesday the 21st. I mean, unless I'm getting my calendars wrong. Tuesday it is, yes.
So yeah, just like
so it is going to be Tuesday, and I do hope at some point it will come to the US. I don't know how and where. In the past, by the way, just as a heads up, devices that have been released outside of the US, they tend to come to the US under a T-Mobile branding. So there'll be a T-Mobile version of a device from OnePlus. They did that last year with the OnePlus 7T McLaren edition.
I remember.
So that came out everywhere in the world, but the US only T-Mobile got it. So maybe it will. So we have a question here from one of our guys, and if you don't mind, guys, please try not to spam the comments with questions. We do see them. It's just there's quite a few things going on. So hi TK and Issa, share the screenshot with you. I answered the question first through. So Rohan, please keep in mind that sorry, and I do want to mention it. The live stream is going on multiple platforms. It's not all on one spot. So it goes on Twitter, Periscope, as well as YouTube at the same time. So even though on your side it may look like you're higher than somebody else, the answer has to come to which aggregates all the answers. So what we see on both of our ends is going to be an aggregate list. So I do apologize if it may seem like on your end it was first. It has to show up on our side, and as you know, again, the show itself is running on multiple streams. So do apologize on that, and also the aggregate list on your side is not the actual list that shows up on our end. It the way the server kind of hits it. But thank you for letting us know there. And I think so Matt was commenting on that one as well. So with that, you've had the Velvet for a while, right? I wanted to kind of bring kind of like a circle back at the end with the Velvet. And I'm assuming you haven't had a chance to play with this V60, right? Because I think the V60 is mostly a US device. Or did you play with it when you were here?
I have the V60.
Oh, nice.
The first dual screen case, right?
That's the V50.
Oh, sorry. Okay, I had the V50. Sorry.
There's two. Yeah. So the V50 last year came out with the first dual screen case, and I think Juan Carlos got that one. Then they did the G8X, which I think Matt Tyler in the comments has that one. And then I think for us in the US, the first one we got.
One.
Yeah, the BB.
No, I haven't. Sorry. Yes, you're right.
The best way I can put them together is there's the big brother and the little brother. Let's switch over to the camera here. So from a case standpoint, you could definitely see they're similar. But it's definitely thinner here. You can definitely see the color. And I like the fact that it's in white. Also, the display here, it's a small screen. This one is an actual display, which definitely works a lot better for us. I don't have my V60 in this one right now, so that's why it's not sitting in there. But for me, the initial impressions that I got on it is definitely the focus on design, right? They did a lot of work on the design. They want to make sure that the device appeals aesthetically as well as functionally. Obviously, it's running a 7 series processor. How has it been for you as do you like the dual screen? I mean, have you used dual screen devices? I mean, you used the V50 obviously, but they did so many of the improvements on this one. Yeah, if you can maybe let us know.
So that V50, when I first tried it, So first of all, background. I really like novel things. Joshua knows this. I get excited when it looks new and it looks weird. The whole fact that there was a screen that was another case blew my mind.
Mhm.
So when I did, so it was, I got it through Joshua, and when we got those phones, I was so excited for it. I the Was it the time that we met up? But I remember I used it for like almost the whole time I was in the US for that trip. Like
Mhm.
we went to Getty and I was shooting with that phone. Because I
It's a
love
great, yeah. And,
I
and
love
in the US, we got a version of it that was a Sprint version, the V50 under Sprint. So it was a carrier specific one. It didn't come with the case though, because they didn't have the connectors on the back. So they released it,
oh,
and the way they did it, so the initial release or the first version of the case with the V50s, the Korean market or the Korean version of it had connectors on the back to when you put the phone in the case, it connects. The US version came with the phone by itself. So we didn't get the case accessory. Yeah. So
okay.
if you were using it, you were using the Korean model. That I think probably Josh got that one.
I got it through Joshua, and it was the Korean version because it had
Yeah.
the Korean keyboard. But I still loved it. I love the dual screen case. Joshua was laughing at me because I was using it to prop up the phone to take selfies. So it's basically like an automatic thing that props up your phone. I love the fact that it it gives me that choice, you know. If
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
want this big old screen, I can have it. If I want just the phone, I can have it. But mostly I was telling him that I wish that it had a second screen to give me notifications, which, and then of
Welcome.
course,
Yeah.
the angles, of course,
Mhm.
that, but it's also, it looks so serious for me.
It
Yeah,
was.
it's just such a big black thing. And
Mhm.
so the velvet comes, right? And I'm
Exactly.
excited over the color. I'm excited over how graceful this thing looks already. I opened the second box, which I knew was a dual screen case. So I was pretty excited about it, expecting this big black thing.
Mhm.
White. And it blew my mind. I was so excited. I know that a lot of people don't see the value in the dual screen case because there is like, I mean, versus the fold, which it becomes a big tablet. Some
Oh
people
no, definitely. Yeah. It's a very. It's a different form factor, and no one else is doing it, right? So I mean, we've seen foldables from other companies, but LG's kind of just like took it and they decided to go with it there. And I'm actually excited the fact that, technically this is the fourth device that they've released with the second display or the second screen,
Mm.
and I love the ergonomics of it. Like you said, that the propping up of prop up to be able to take better pictures. Even just setting it like a small, kind of a laptop experience, right? Like you set it on the table,
Yeah.
and you can watch movies because of the speakers are facing, and you can listen to it. It has an actual headphone jack, although a little bit challenging to get to with the case. That's about the only thing I would say. Um,
But for me, it's how I use my phone.
it's
Ah,
easily with an adapter, by the way, as long as you have the
oh,
adapter.
oh, I've never.
They sell these little adapters. I usually buy them because like if you've used headphones for a long time and you plug them into your device. Let me just do a quick zoom on this one. So it's here. It's a little adapter. It's seriously no more than just an extender. If I can get it to focus, here we are. So it extends the cable. It's thin enough to go into the actual connector, and it takes a lot of the pressure from using cable. So I buy these guys in bulk, and I use them on my wired headphones like these guys that I'm using because they generally go at an angle and none of them are angled cables. So I like to put the pressure on these, and if these things break, it's easy. So those are the ones I usually will curve, but it works.
A very good tip, TK.
Yeah, and it works great for me, especially with the of course we're using with the V60. Josh was mentioning also that his unit came with the Wacom pen. I purchased the Wacom pen for the V60, so I'm happy. I'm really excited about the aesthetics of it. But are you able to get 5G with yours, or how was it? How was
Not
transitioning to it?
not from this side of the world. For
Mhm.
me, it was mostly the multitasking.
Okay.
I watch stuff while I surf. So I'm watching a YouTube video and I'm chatting on Discord. I'm on Twitter and I'm on Instagram. I'm playing something and it's just really really nice. Honestly, I am guilty of using two phones at the same.
We I think in our line of work, I would say that's expected. If you don't, then we
No,
have.
but in general though, in general use case scenarios, like I'd be watching a YouTube video,
Mhm.
but I'd be like on Twitter. So the Velvet actually solved that. And I was just like, who knew
It,
I needed this?
exactly. It is from a multitasking point of reference. It's just you can run two things easily on it, but you can even run three things technically if you really want to push it, because you can do multi-screen on one and then a single
Yeah.
screen on the left. But I hear you. No, definitely. I tend to, like with the podcasts and so on, I love to turn them on, and I also I may put them a little bit in the background, but I love to listen to the conversation and see how things are going.
Mhm.
So for me, the V60 answered that, and that gave me a really good experience into just a way of interfacing with multi-screen without necessarily having to deal with, because although foldables are great and they're getting better, there's
Mhm.
still the resistance, not resistance, the resiliency that we still haven't received there. They're not as durable.
Mhm.
I like the Z Flip, and I really miss the Z Flip because I bought it and they ended up selling that one. Um, Mostly because the way we turn devices on, so not everything gets sent to us just as you guys want to know. We have to go through buying and selling. Like my S20 Ultra, I actually had to buy this one because I don't, Samsung
I
doesn't
got
send me things.
it here.
Yeah, see, look, I love the Z Flip, and the one thing that I did learn from you when you were covering the V50 was the fact of using the Z Flip as that curve, right? You turn it over and you kind of use it facing
Yeah.
up and face the camera to you. Works great for chatting. The UI was done exactly right. Shrinks the image, puts it into the top part of the display. It looks great. So for me, I feel like we're getting there, but I think LG has a good thing going, and I really, really hope we see more of it. They need to keep it, and it's an easy accessory, especially now that they fixed, they're no longer needing the pins and so on.
It's just the little connector thing that people keep on. Did Joshua find it? TK, tell me Joshua found the connector thing for the charger of that case. Because it's such a tiny thing that you can lose.
Uh-huh. Oh no, so take that back. He messaged me after we left each other like yesterday. He's like, "Sorry, dude, I missed mine. I don't know where mine is." I told him I have mine still from the V60,
Oh my gosh.
but I have no idea where it is.
Oh no.
It's just such a small. So okay, by the way, guys, what we were talking about is this little adapter right here. So here, again, focus level, focus, buddy. This connector at the bottom of the V60 case or the Velvet case has a magnetic pin connector that you need to use that LG provides with the case. Oh yeah, so it's this. So see, so now Issa has the thing that I'm missing, where I had her lamp and now she has my connector.
Thing here.
Exactly. That little adapter is needed so that you can charge the Velvet through the case, so that you don't have to take it out. And voila, simple, right? Very easy to lose. Very, very easy to lose. So what I did last night after I got the phone from Josh, I plugged it in and I just took it out of the case. So obviously it's a little extra. It's not what it's designed for. I'm not supposed to take it out of the case and do the whole thing, but that's how it ends up being. Logged in, set up my account. I almost don't want to put it in the case because I definitely want to see how it looks like. I'm really loving the
The
aesthetics design.
is that it's
Mhm.
really slippery.
It is. It
I have
is.
dropped it. It's so for some reason the phones that I really like are very slippery. This falls off the table without me doing anything. It's
That fell out of my pocket without me. I mean, one time I was trying to take it out of my pocket. It slipped out of my fingers as it's leaving the pocket and went straight to the ground. And my heart dropped. It was just, like when you buy a new toy, you're always protective of it. You're worried. It's like till that I would say the first ding till you're like, oh my God, well, okay, fine. Now it's going to be fine, whatever. that
exactly what.
first drop. Yeah. No, but you're always super. You baby it so much,
Uh-huh.
and then as soon as it dropped on the floor after that first time, I was like, oh,
You're done.
and it was fine. But then I'm like, okay, it's a little bit more resilient.
Mhm.
Uh, it's definitely. I love the flip, and I'm happy that you guys, you still enjoy using it. The even actually down to the Palm Pre. Is it not the Palm Pre? The Palm, the tiny Palm.
Oh
Um,
yeah, the Papa. It's here somewhere. If I can,
it, it,
it's here
no,
somewhere.
no,
Yeah.
there's tons of it, but things like that. Those are really cool techs. And for me, LG, I think I'll definitely be putting some content out on the Velvet. I just need a little bit of time with that one, and then of course, just kind of getting my head wrapped around it a little bit, because in my mind, I'm going to compare it to the V60. It's hard not to, because I came from the V60. That's the baseline kind of. But just to see how the 765 is doing, I don't have a lot of 765 devices. We're enough in the US. The 765 hasn't picked up as much. They announced it at the same time as the 865 last year at the Qualcomm Summit, but this 865 has basically been literally overshadowing everything. Everything you see is 865. The 6 series and the 7 series have stayed in around the 720s, and we're now starting to see, the Velvet, the Nord, the Pixel 4a, and we're hearing more rumors of more devices coming out that are going to support this processor. So I'm excited about that.
I'm just googling quickly what the 765 phones are because now I'm curious.
I'm imagining this is the time where a lot of companies will want to put them out. They're 5G enabled. They use the X52 modem as opposed to the X55, so there's a little bit of a compatibility difference there. But in general, it should be able to give you a good experience with a 5G connectivity, especially international 5G.
Yeah.
But
That's something that I have not been able to test from my side.
I was gonna say, with the way we are, we could only test. Yeah, I mean, for me, I can only test sub-6, type of 5G, anyways, because T-Mobile that's the only one they offer in the LA area. Millimeter wave from Verizon hasn't been very prominent in Los Angeles, so we don't have a lot of it. If there is any, it's generally like in downtown, in a square block radius of some sort. And then AT&T is building it up, but I would love to be able to check out 5G, like even in Europe, just to see how it, they have more presence there, and they do tend to get much faster connections than we get here in the US.
I mean, we don't have any, so I mean,
it's harder.
Technically, to be technical about it, we have it, but as to if it actually works or if you can actually just test it out,
it's a hard one. It's definitely an up and coming tech. I think that we are still waiting to see how it actually kind of comes out. Aditya, I do want to say that I did see the video that I think he's referencing that video somebody posted on Twitter that was playing around with the Galaxy Z Flip and flipping it around and throwing it around.
Yeah,
that gave me a heart attack.
It did, and okay, one with the Z Flip. I think we can all agree that it is more resilient than we thought it was.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So many times, it's still alive. But the thing is, I still put this down, wash my hands, and pause because I don't want to touch it with wet hands. It's vulnerable. I mean, versus whatever phone I have, it's something that you still take more care of. And I think that's like a big thing when it comes to use case, because if you're so used to all these normal phones with waterproofing and everything versus a phone that I literally can put this in a handbag with keys in it. And girls do that, guys. That's why girls do that. Girls have purses with not just keys, but rings and jewelry and earrings. And that is how I've scratched so many phones. I don't know if this phone will survive that.
It's not. I feel like foldable tech needs a little bit more, maybe one or two more iterations with the display. I know that at least for the Z Flip, and I don't think they did that for the Fold. Samsung offers it at the Samsung stores. I don't think it's offered through third party, where they will install a special screen protector that makes it a little bit more resilient to scratches, like micro scratches and like for keys and so on. I'm not, if I'm not mistaken, I think Josh did it on his. And he's one of the few that he actually wanted to put that extra resiliency into his phone. So they do try to make it better, but it's not really glass the way they said. There's that glass particles in there. It's better than the Fold, than the first generation one.
Than the Fold, definitely. But I mean, you
Yeah.
still know it's different. But another thing that I will point out too is that we also do a lot of nail art. Imagine nail art on this phone.
Oh my God. Yeah. No, it's going to be hard. You're right. It's hard because you're right. Your interface with it also will always need a little bit more resistance because of that. If you have nails, if you have anything like that, for me, it will almost be my only thing that I ever had to deal with was essentially micro scratches from like some parts. Sometimes if my nails are not sharp or not cut right at the edges, and then I've noticed that there'll be little bit micro scratches on displays, but I see those drive me crazy. But with that, it's something to keep in mind: resiliency, durability. There are rumors that the Galaxy Fold 2 is going to be coming out. There are also other rumors talking about the Z Flip 5G, which is a minor upgrade, very minor from what we hear. Mostly 5G and I think the 865 to be able to support the 5G on there. But other than that, same form factor and everything. So for people that want the 5G.
Color and 5G, right?
I think so. I think they do. And then there's also the beans, the little, the Samsung.
Unpopular opinion, but I actually think those are cute. But I also think that jelly beans are cute. So that's where
jelly beans are cute and they're delicious. But that's my only thing that I don't disagree. I think they definitely have a good look. Aesthetically, they look very unique, and you won't mistake them for anything else. My concern I always worry about is that once you lose that one bean and you're stuck with only one of the two, it's this small, where as much as I sometimes, I appreciate having earphones that do have a little longer ear tip, it's easier to spot. They're getting small enough to literally, we're going to start losing one ear tip and then, going in, it's like, hey, did you guys see one? Or one time it happened to me and I was running, it was a while ago, and it was another pair of earphones. And I was running and one bounced out of my ear, hit the ground, and tumbled further away down the hillside. And I lost an earpiece without, you know what I mean? It's just so small. So I'm looking forward to seeing how they perform. I hope they have good performance as well as, obviously battery life. But we'll have to see how, just see how things are going with it and how the design will do.
Could they put those like little alarms, like the find my earphone thing in it, right? That would, I don't know.
They have to find some, or maybe Bluetooth tethering, kind of like maybe show like a proximity kind of thing. Rhonda's mentioned, I can't wait for the Note 20 Ultra, so that's going to be part of it. Though the Fold is outside. Yeah, it's sadly the Fold is in a lot of people's outside budgets. Sadly, the way it is. Although there was also some rumors for a budget version of that. Matt with a super chat saying happy birthday to Sam. I didn't realize Sam's birthday is coming up. So Josh, if you're there. Oh, Sam is in the chat. Yeah, hey, man. So Sam's getting the Surface Buds. He's going to go with the white, the big Surface Buds. Yeah. Well, happy birthday, Sam, man.
Like colors for that. Because
I wish they did.
Yeah, I actually think those look nice. And I actually feel like if they came in like different colors, it would be cute.
It's something to customize a little bit, right? Because that cylindrical look that they have almost feels like they fit into something, but they're not necessarily into, so Sam,
like potential there.
Exactly. You have to look at the potential. And Sam, again, happy birthday, man. Appreciate hanging out. So this is, by the way, Sam, the other gentleman that hangs out with Matt on the Across the Pond cast.
Cool.
Although his thumbnail is a little bit outdated, he needs to put in the little bit of a scuff going on for right now in the headphones. The look, but you'll see them tomorrow. Great guys, really, really cool. And of course, with everything going on, and it's like, I think we kind of covered a lot of stuff. We touched base with on Xiaomi, and I'm really looking forward to seeing some more content from you, especially on the Realme 9. And then what you think of the 9C? That's sub $100. That's for us, it's a very, very like I've had a lot of comments of people asking for content on phones like that. So
the thing with it is, I have another phone that's supposed to go against that here. I can't really talk about it right now, but it's something we get a lot too. Um, I'm hoping that, okay, let me backtrack. Right now, we have issues with the pandemic, so a lot of school stuff they're gonna be online, and I've personally seen so many kids online just asking for phones, and this time around, it's actually for school, and it's
that's
crazy.
true.
It's been crazy. It's online learning, but remember, I'm in a third world country where kids don't have access to devices. And so when I think about all these cheaper phones, I mean, personally, I always say that, my minimum is a mid-range device, a lower mid-range device, because
Mhm.
I can assure you, I can point you to a lower mid-range device that will perform and you won't feel that it's a mid-range device. That's how
Yeah,
good tech is now. If you
exactly.
go for lower, if you go for budget phones, of course, you will start to feel that it is a cheaper device. But that's from a consumer standpoint, my consumer standpoint.
Hmm.
From a different perspective, though, I mean, especially coming into a time where we're looking at technology not from a whole um, just consumer standpoint, but as a necessity, it's something I wholeheartedly welcome. Like,
It's hard. You have to, yeah, especially with the way things are going here in the US. We're moving, at least in California, we're all moving into online learning. So mobile tech is, and I think Juan Carlos will also attest to this, that we've never been in a situation where we relied on our tech so much than in the past few months or in the current time. So having devices like that, lower mid-range price point that are friendly to family budgets, especially when you're thinking of, you have more than one kid that needs to go to school, they're all going to need to be on at the same time. You can't share. You can't just say, hey, wait till your sister or your brother's done. So this will always be appreciated, especially on budgets. And um, I'm personally very much interested to see what you think of it, and how does that, especially the 99. Not to say the other ones are that much more expensive, like 130 and 140, but those are always devices that always intrigued us, because in the US it is not a category that people talk about. There are devices that exist, like some LG K series and so on, that almost, they're called feature phones. They're given away for free as part of signups with some brands. But Realme and Xiaomi are known. They're big brands. They're international, and they're known for this type of things. Budget friendly, great value. They all had a 6.5 something inch display. All of them had massive displays. That's crazy. So again,
it's the same reaction. I remember when the Pixel 3a came out and everyone was going crazy about it, and I'm like, what's so special about it, aside from it's a pixel camera? Because
mhm,
I get it, the pixel cameras are awesome, and everyone's like, it's $300, and I'm like, I can get so much for $300. Like, here, at least, like, I can get you a phone that has like twice the specs, you know
it's a market, it's for sure a market thing, and you have to be in the right. Yeah, in the US it definitely resonates differently, and I think that's why OnePlus also does that whole price adjustment for wherever they're marketing for, because you can't really market the same price point in the US and then expect the Indian market or the Asian market to respond the same way. um, and with that being said, I want to say, first and foremost, thank you very much for staying up with us. I feel like if we stay any longer, we're probably going to have breakfast at that point. I'll have you like, TK, I'll be right back. I just got to bring my scrambled eggs and we'll go. uh, Let us know. So obviously, I already have the information in the description below. Let us know where are you? How do people connect with you? What's the best way to talk to you and get in touch with Issa and communicate? Obviously, you have a Discord. If you can maybe also plug that in as well for people to
Oh,
join.
So I have a Discord channel. The link is on my Instagram. So I should probably just give you my Instagram and my Twitter. It's at Issa said. Yeah, mostly on those two platforms. I am just always on hanging out. Yeah.
So Twitter. So I personally interact with Issa on Twitter and Instagram. I always I appreciate the content. She's always very active, live stories and so on. So please make sure to engage, talk to Issa, check it out, subscribe, of course, follow. Don't forget about the live chat tomorrow. Sam and Matt, we're going to be hanging out with Josh over on the Across the Podcast, 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'm hoping we'll be able to work something out. Maybe Josh will be joining me next weekend. We'll see how his schedule is going on. But in the meantime, we'll all be checking out tomorrow's podcast. Thank you, Issa, again, very, very much for hanging out. Bringing in your point of reference is something that, for me, is refreshing because, it's hard to say, but I don't have a reference to it here. We don't, you know what I mean? It's the where you are and what you do. Your view of the world is basically crafted based on that. And although there is obviously a big market for mid-range and budget-friendly devices, I feel like you're right. That was a very specific comment that you made. You said this is something that OnePlus needs to capitalize. More brands need to jump in, and I really hope Xiaomi does keep following through. They're bringing and they're doing more and more. To everybody else in the chat, Rhonda, Matt, Aditya, Andrew, Sam as well, of course, Josh, Chemi, everybody, Andrew Wallace, of course, Goran Petrovic, and I think I saw Steve DeRoche. I could be wrong if I missed your name, and of course Matt, if I didn't say that already. And then congratulations to the winner. I don't have. I will contact with you. I will connect with you afterwards, and then Rishi, I will definitely get back with you on that comment. I appreciate that. And we still didn't figure out the Issa hashtag yet, and I didn't see it. But I do need to do one last thing, and I think the guys forgot to remind me. Have you heard of the Inception thing that we do on the video, or have you did anybody mention it? No? Okay. So keep watching the screen. So here's Gary. I want to say thanks, Gary. Carrie the Fireman, thank you for the super chat. So what ended up happening is I actually share the screen of the live stream that we're in, and it's going to do this little bit of a thing. Ready? 1, 2, and...
Oh my God.
It's sharing us within ourselves. We're talking to each other multiple times. So the Inception...
That's tense.
It is, and I started it by coincidence. So here's your hashtag, Issa Tech Queen. Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the hashtag club, Issa Tech Queen. We are very happy to have you here. Let me just remove this one to bring us back to normal view.
I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having me. And I said this to Juan. Personally, anytime that I am welcome to a podcast, to a show, to anything, especially by creators like yourself who've been on the industry, who've been who is respected and just
thank you
is there and very present. I really appreciate that. I've always said that. I mean, I post a lot about, let's say, comments that aren't so nice, targeted towards me online because of people who don't appreciate the content that I make. But it's always something that I appreciate from the community. And I will keep on saying this. The tech community is one of the best communities out there. I have gotten so much support just from the tech people in it. You having me, Juan, Viper, everyone. Everyone's been so helpful. Everyone's been so respectful. And I really appreciate that.
And again, we appreciate your point of view on the actual ecosystem and how things are, because it helps looking at it from different views. And again, you can highlight certain features that some viewers will find very appealing to them that I may totally skip in an entire video. Not that I don't appreciate the aesthetics. It's just, like I said, it's a use case, right? So it's more of the how you use the product is why your point of view is why people are coming for you, and we appreciate that. So with that. Yes. Hashtag we're getting a lot of hashtags. Just be nice. Exactly.
Oh, like that hashtag.
Exactly. No, Greg, I appreciate you, man, and Chemi. So make sure you guys check it out. So Issa, again, I'll give you guys all the information will be in the description below. Myself, it's pretty much TK Bay everywhere, or specifically TK Bay 8655. Don't know why I still have that ID, but that's how you can find me on Instagram and on Twitter. But if you type in TK Bay in there, you'll generally find me. The beard will find me. You'll find the beard. Let's just say that. Thank you very much. Like and subscribe. Make sure you check out Issa's channels and subscribe and follow Issa Does Tech, or Issa in either her normal tech videos or even her workout as far as lifestyle type stuff. There's other things that she does as well, and it's great. And with that being said, I'll see you guys next Saturday, hopefully with Josh. Make sure to check him out tomorrow. We'll see you guys soon. Thank you very much for the support. Bye-bye, everybody.